back again. Pathway to Us is back again with our weekly multi-streaming live. So, guys, thank you so much for coming here today. My name is Juvaina, your host for today, and I have here our education and migration agent, Karlo for our education agent, and Ran for our migration agent. So today, guys, I would like to share with you that during this live, we will be entertaining all your concerns with regards to migration and education. So sit back and relax there, watch us. So now I'm giving the floor to Carla. So please introduce yourself, love. And we have 6 viewers out there currently.
Oh, cool. I'm one of the six. I have my phone open to the
Okay,
live stream.
okay.
My name is Carlo. I'm one of the education counselors for Pathway to Us. I've been in the industry since 2018. I was part of a school previously, and now I'm helping out students with their visa applications to Australia.
Yes. So, Carlo, is there any chance you can give them anything like a background or benefit of studying here in Australia based on what you heard from your previous student or your current student that's here in Australia?
So the good thing with studying in Australia is though you do get the same learnings when you study in your home country, like for example for in the Philippines, but from what my students have been giving me feedback on is that the courses in the Philippines is basically mostly theoretical, and they don't really get to learn the skills. Now, if you study in Australia, you get into a program, into a course, and then the course gives you the practical skills just to get you employed eventually. So that's a good thing with Australia. You get both theory and or the classroom based core studies and also the skills that you need to to be employed to gain further experience in the industry.
True, true. So it's like a work-life balance here in Australia, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Because I've been there, guys. So I know, like being a student, working, and studying, it's very different in the Philippines because we are more on when we're studying, you are focused on studying Monday to Friday. But here in Australia, it's like work-life balance. True, true. All right. And by the way, Carlo, can you give them like an insight about the process of studying here in Australia?
This process of getting a student visa. So, the first part of your student visa journey is for us to know your background and how it will align to the program that you are looking into applying for. For example, if you are maybe a chef or maybe have a work experience in cookery in the Philippines and you wanna do a much formal studies in Australia, then we have to do a commercial cookery program for you. So, if, for example, we do an automotive program with your background, your visa might get refused. So that's the first step. It's alignment. Then after we align your program, then we are going to proceed with the school application. That's where your usual documents are gonna come in, your academics, personal documents, your employment, and then once we do the enrollment, afterwards we proceed with your visa application. That's where your show money comes in, if needed, your English test, your home ties, and your genuine temporary entrance statement. Then after we complete that, we lodge your visa. Then after we lodge your visa, that's the time that you do your medical and biometrics, and then you wait for until
Waiting,
your
waiting time,
yeah the waiting time. So until your
waiting
visa
game.
decision comes.
True, true, true. So most likely, how long does it take for like currently
Uh,
with our
dep
student currently?
it depends on how ready a student is. So there was a student of mine previously that we completed the documents in less than a week, and
Mm-hmm.
we proceeded with the school application, and then in 2 weeks he completed the visa application. So there are those types of students, but most of the time it takes students a week, sorry, a month to complete their initial documents and then maybe another month for your visa just so you have to do so much work. And then for after we launch the visa, it usually takes around 2 to 3 months to get a visa decision. So roughly, let's say around 4 to 5.
True. All right. Guys, we currently have 22 viewers out there. So those 22 viewers out there, just stay put because we have a mini game later, which you can win a free migration consultation with Pathway to Us. It's $220, guys, for a migration with us. But while watching and staying there with us with this session, you might get a chance to win a free migration consultation, guys. So stay there, share this, share, tag your families and friends who wanted to go here in Australia so that they will be aware of everything. You know, if their cases is eligible for applying this and that, especially with this live, we have our education and migration agent here with me. So now, Marian, can we please put the three questions prepared for Carlo? Can we get the number one, please? Okay, so we have here the first question, Carlo, about student visa. Can you bring a dependent here in Australia?
Yeah, if you apply for a student visa, yeah, you can bring your dependent. So bringing dependent will also incur additional costs, like a double or triple your visa fee, your medical biometrics. There is also a very large jump in terms of fees for your overseas student health cover or your insurance. So you have to prepare for that along with your additional show money for your dependents. But in with how we recommend you do this is you apply for your visa first, and then once your visa has been approved, that's the time you apply. Or sorry, once your visa has been approved and you are already in Australia, that's the time you apply for your dependent or you lodge your dependent's visa. Just gives you a much better visa approval rate, number one, and then also your dependent or dependents are included in your home ties when we do your genuine temporary entrance statement. So um, your dependents not joining you on your initial visa application makes your case stronger compared to having them along in your first visa application.
All right, thank you so much for answering that question, Carlo. Number two questions on the screen. Can we have the number two question, please? I think we're having a problem with the connection,
Mhm.
but that's fine. I can ask you the second question. So, how much is the show money needed for a student visa application? This
So
is a common question. So,
yeah, so for the show money, if you're applying for a vocational program, so it's definitely much cheaper than your higher ed ones like a master's or a bachelor's. It's around 40 to 45,000 Australian dollars, and for higher ed, usually it starts depends on how much the tuition fee is. Usually starts at around 50 or 60,000 Australian dollars and up. What's included in your show money is 1 year's tuition, your expenses, and your flight to Australia. We also sometimes also include your insurance. Um, but the thing is to remember for show money, you also have to prepare for your second year. So make sure you have at least source of funds for your sponsor, just to show the immigration that okay, you have funds for 1 year, but you also have funds incoming for the second year.
all right, thank you so much. By the way, Carlo, with the show money, is
Mhm.
it mandatory that their bank is the only one they needed to provide, or they can also have a sponsor? You know,
Oh,
like
it will be better to have a sponsor. So remember, on a student visa, you can only work for 48 hours every 2 weeks or fortnightly. So you may have the funds now, but while you are using your finances or your funds, it will eventually run out, and you cannot really put more money in because you don't have a full-time work anymore. That's where your sponsors will come in, and it will show the immigration that okay, you have enough funds to last you for at least a year, and then there are still funds coming in for your second year. So if you're going to show your bank statement or your proof of funds, it's better to show your sponsors bank statements.
All right. Thank you so much, Carlo. So you answer all the common questions that I prepared for you to answer. So thank you so much. And now, guys, we are having some questions, but stay there, guys, because we are going to answer those questions after Grant's, after our migration agent introduce himself and answer some, share some benefits of migrating here in Australia and things like that. So stay put there and watch us so we can assist all your concerns after. And take note, we have our mini games that you can win a free consultation with Pathway to Us. All right, Grant. So I'm so talkative. So now I'm giving you the floor. Welcome, our migration agent from Pathway to Us.
Juvaina, thank you. And well, good afternoon from here on the Gold Coast. Good day wherever you are watching us today. Thank you for being here. My name is Grant Colbro, and I'm a senior registered migration agent here at Pathway to Oz. And I use the word senior because I've been in the industry probably longer than many of our viewers have been alive. I initially started with the Department of Immigration back in 1994. Worked my way through to senior executive ranks and was then posted overseas as an Australian diplomat. And I served in many posts in Southeast Asia across my career. I then resigned from government and set up myself as a registered agent and consultant all the way back in 2012. So yeah, I've been in the industry a bit over 30 years. And it's interesting when you ask what are the benefits of migrating to Australia. What I always say to people is that the benefits actually are usually more than just yourself. It's interesting because in my experience with clients, all of your contacts, your colleagues, your family, your friends are all going to have an interest in your migration to Australia. It's not just going to be about you. And there's a lot of stories and a lot of on-flow that comes from migration. So, we've spoken about lifestyle, work-life balance, all of those sort of things, great salary rates in Australia. But, I think infrastructure is a wonderful thing in Australia. Great hospitals, schools, airports, transport infrastructure. I think they're one of the key things about living in Australia that many Australians take for granted.
Yes, true love. Okay, so now actually I prepared three questions for you as well. So our Marian will show it to you, love. Okay, so let's proceed with the number one question. Okay, occupation that have high chance of getting PR, permanent resident.
Well, look, as most of our viewers probably know, there are various lists of occupations that are in demand. And that those lists will depend on which visa category we're applying under. But look, brutally honest, anything involved with building a house right now in Australia is in huge demand. Bricklayers, carpenters, tilers, plumbers, painters. There's just huge demand. And in the most recent invitation rounds, most of those occupations that I just mentioned were invited in large numbers at 65 points. So huge demand in construction trades. We're seeing a slight decrease in IT demand at the moment. Engineering remains very strong. Nursing, teaching, medical are also very strong at the moment as well.
All right. Thank you for answering my first question, Grant. By the way, we have 37 viewers out there watching us. 37 viewers out there. Stay put. Comment down below your families and friends so that they will know about this event from Pathway to Us, which we are handling some cases concerns of yours regarding migrating here in Australia for student visa and also skilled migrant or something. Okay. So now let's proceed with number two question. Do I have to move to regional area to become a permanent resident here in Australia?
Look, it's a great question, and it's a question we get asked quite a lot when we're meeting with clients and potential migrants. What I say to you is, the more flexible you are with location, the more opportunities you're going to have. Okay. Everyone will have their own set of circumstances. There might be some applicants who simply must move to a regional location by virtue of their characteristics. For example, age. They might need to access a Dharma agreement or similar. Whereas there might be applicants who are eligible for every single pathway of skilled migration. So it really is a case-by-case consideration based on your individual circumstances, and that's why it's so important to book a consultation, to actually get through your information, your set of facts, so that we can give full advice. But my advice to everyone out there is, the more flexible you are, the more options are going to be available to you for your migration.
All right. Thank you so much for answering that question, Grant. I know a lot of you guys are getting some information with this live, so feel free to share it with your families. Okay, guys. So now we are having the question number 3. Okay. Question number 3. I think Marian is having. Okay. Question number 3.
All right. So, is there an age limit for
Yes.
employer-sponsored visas? Look, again, question that we do get asked quite a bit, and the answer is dependent on if you're talking about temporary employer-sponsored visas or permanent employer-sponsored visas. In the temporary space, no, there is no age limit. Okay, so the subclass 482 is what I'm talking about there. However, when you start looking at permanent employer-sponsored visas, then yes, there are age limits. So again, I can't stress this enough. It really is a case-by-case consideration based on your circumstances as to what you're eligible for, and that's why it's so important to stress. And I know that it's in the banner below. Book a consultation, come in, talk to us directly about you and your circumstances, and then we can get you on the pathway.
Yay! Thank you so much, Grant, for answering those 3 questions. Guys, we currently have 44 viewers out there. So 44 viewers, stay there because we have a mini game later that you will win a free migration consult with Pathway to Us. All right, so now, okay. All right, so feel free to comment down. Okay, now, so we gonna show the mini game. As what I told you a while ago, we are having a mini game. So those keyboard warrior out there, I know you're watching. We currently have 41 viewers out there. So we will be showing a question and you will answer. So the first person who will answer correctly will be the winner. All right? So don't forget, by the way, you should put PTA plus the answer. All right? So hopefully you get that. Okay. We are now counting in 3, 2, 1, question. Okay, question number 1. Question, what is the largest city in Australia? Okay, 40 viewers out there, feel free to comment your answer. Okay, let's see. Okay, okay. So hi to our 40 viewers out there. Feel free to comment your answer if you know the answer of the question. Okay, who will be the winner? All right. I think I have the winner now. Okay, okay. So the largest city in Australia is Sydney. Okay, let's see who is the winner. Hold on. Let me show her name. Okay. So this is the first commenter, guys. Okay. Hi, Lindsay Reed. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but I think it's Reed, right? So let's take a picture, screenshot. Can you do a screenshot, Marian? In 3, 2, 1. Okay. Lindsay, I don't know how to pronounce your name correctly. Lindsay, please take a screenshot of this live that you are the winner so that this is my email, by the way. You can see it on top of my screen. So you sent me an email with the screenshot of this game, like your name on the side, so that we will coordinate with you with your free migration consult with Pathway to Us. You're so lucky. It's $220 and you just get it for free. Okay, now let's proceed to our Q&A session. Guys, we have 46 viewers out there. Now, feel free to comment all your concerns so that we will go through all the concerns and our agents will answer it. Okay, let's proceed to the first question. Which course, which courses to study in Australia for ladies? Carlo.
Nice question. So just to give you an idea, when I was back in the construction college in Everthought in Perth, we did have some girls doing the carpentry course. So that's a building construction program. So but there are just a few of them. I think two out of the whole class. But yeah, if for girls, if they can do construction, that would be good. As Grant mentioned, it's pretty much in demand. But maybe don't do the bricklaying ones or the tiling ones. You might
That will be very heavy for them.
you might not be able to do that, or maybe you can do the painting and decorating
Painting,
one or the glazing if you want to.
cabinet making,
Um, yeah, cabinet making is also good. So those courses
trade
are
sections.
good for the ladies. But if you don't want to do the dirty work, maybe you want to do the early childhood ones if you are good with children, or maybe you want to do
Nursing.
IT or nursing or healthcare aging support is also one. So there are a lot of courses for the ladies. Book a consult with us, and we'll see how we can align your background towards the program.
Yes. You also see Carlos' email, right?
So
Yes. So he also has his email there. If you want to book a consult with him, you can also send him an email and just tell him that you are from our multi-streaming event. Okay. So now we proceed with our next question. If you are dependent on a 482 and about to apply for Visa 494, I am still under my parents. How much do I have to make in order to be still classified under that? I think Grant. This is quite what they call confusing question, I guess.
Yeah, it is a little bit, and I think to be fair, Emmanuel, we probably need a fair bit more information to answer this directly, because if I'm right in assuming that you're a school-aged dependent, then your question around how much do you need to make is not relevant. There is no income threshold if you're a school-aged dependent.
Yeah. He said
So
he's
yeah,
over 18 now. Sorry. I saw the second comment. He said I am over 18, by the way. Will it help?
okay. But are you financially dependent on your parents? So, for example, are you a full-time student and have always been a full-time student? I think what I'd like to do is, to be fair, this is quite personal sort of question that's come up here. So I think it might be best if we can reach out to Emmanuel separately, just
Yes,
to
book a
get the
consult.
actual facts and advise him directly on that.
True, true. Okay, so Mr. Emmanuel, you can book a consult with one of our migration agent. Visit our pathwaytos.com, because better to have a consult directly with them, because you can provide the documents, the details that they needed, and then they can advise you more in detail. Okay, so now we have another question from Jonathan Unko. Hello, can you explain the automotive course with no experience? So maybe we can talk about it by studies first and then with the PR pathway. Automotive course. Carlo?
Oh, okay. So if you want to do the automotive program, we have to see if your background properly aligns with the program. So, for example, it does. Maybe you have an NC2, or maybe you have prior training, or maybe you have work experience. We can apply for quite a number of automotive programs for you. So there is light vehicle mechanic, there's heavy commercial, there's automotive electrical, there's also the one for panel beating that we can apply for. Then we are going to package the program to give you 2.5 to 3 years. Depends on how long you want to study, actually. Um, for example, we can do the light vehicle one, and then automotive diagnosis, and then the diploma of automotive management. So that's a whole package, and then you complete the 2.5 to 3 year program, and then you then move on to the 485 for as a vocational program for that's only for 18 months, and then Grant will be able to help you out for your succeeding visa applications if it's going to be a permanent one for PR.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, thank you. I'll just quickly jump in there, Carlo. Thank you for that. So look, I mean, when we say automotive, I mean, there's a couple of different occupations that can lead into in Australia, be that a general mechanic or diesel mechanic, depending, on what sort of line of expertise you go into. There is obviously growth at the moment in the EV space, but that is not yet translated into its own ANSCO occupation. So, but I'm sure it's only a matter of time. But yeah, there's certainly demand for both general mechanics and also diesel mechanics in Australia at the moment. And again, the last invitation round, quite a few invitations in that mechanical space. So yeah, it's a great course to choose. As Carlo said, so long as you're eligible, and we can get enrolled in that space, it's a very good one to choose for a pathway to permanent residency.
Thank you, guys. And by the way, Jonathan, feel free to reach out to us. You can use the link or you can send an email to Carlo, okay? So that you will know if we have some promotion with the colleges that we are partnered with. Okay, so now, guys, we have 33 viewers out there. Feel free to comment down below your concerns so that we will go through that concerns later on. Okay, so I have another comment. Hello, I have sent message regarding skill assessment. Okay, with Inday, with regarding to the skill assessment, if you send us an email, I don't know if you sent the email to me or Carlo, don't worry because we will also reply to you later, so that if you need to book a consult with regards to that, we're going to send you the consultation link. Or if you want it, you can also visit the website, thepathwaytos.com, and book a consult. Okay, and now we have another question here. Chini May Aquino 939683. Hi, sir. I think she's a Filipino. She's from YouTube. So she is watching from YouTube. Hi, sir. How about environmental roles? Example, environmental specialist, advisor, researcher, scientist. Okay. So I think Carlo first when it comes to education, and then connected to our migration agent.
Cool. So, Chenny, there are environmental courses available for us, but they're not vocational ones. They are master programs. From the top of my head, there is one for Griffith. I'm not so sure if I'm correct. There's a Master of Environmental Science, I believe. It's for a 2-year program. And in terms of cost, I think it's roughly 70 to 80,000 Australian dollars for 2 years. So it's a great program, kind of pricey. Might give you a very good visa approval rate. And after completion of the course, again, if you're eligible, you can then apply for the 485 with your occupation. Okay.
Thank you, Karlo. Basically, with regards to your question about environmental roles in terms of occupations in demand in Australia, there's quite a few different occupations that come under the environmental banner: environmental engineer, environmental research, environmental manager. They've all got very strong demand across the whole range of visa streams. But obviously the key thing to it is that you've got to be qualified. You have to have completed your relevant qualification and demonstrated work experience, depending on what visa stream we're getting into. But to answer your specific question, yes, there is a lot of demand. There's quite a few different environmental specialist, advisor, research, engineer, scientist roles that are definitely available.
All right. Thank you so much, guys, for answering that question, even though, yeah. Okay. So I have here a question, but it's quite tricky because she just said, like, from Dawei, I'm from Cambodia. I want to know about how to move to Australia. Can we, yeah, so can we ask with the education first? Like, Carla, is like, what's the advice for this country? Is it level 1 or for this country?
Not so sure about the level for Cambodia. So most of the countries I'm doing are with Southeast Asia, Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines. I will have to check, but if you are planning to apply for a student visa, even if you don't really need your proof of funds, it's always good to have that one ready. So right now, we don't really differentiate for which countries do you really need your funding, or for which countries you don't need that. But if you're going to apply for
Better
a
to
student
have.
visa, better to have your show money or your proof of funds, well, along with your other documentation to apply for a student visa. Now, we don't really know what your background is, so we don't know
Yes,
which
book a
ones.
consult.
Yeah, both consult.
That
Yeah.
way,
So
book a consult. If you want to talk about the migration thingy, book a consult with Grant, and when education, book a consult with Carlo. So you will see them in our website. Okay, pathwaytous.com. All right, so let's proceed to the next question. This is so long. This is quite a long question from Harleen. Hello, I am seeking advice regarding the best pathway to work as a teacher in Australia. I am a graduate of Bachelor of Elementary Education, major in preschool education from the Philippines, with nearly 10 years of teaching experience. I would like to know whether it would be better for me to apply as an early childhood education teacher or a primary school teacher. Could you please advise which pathway is more suitable and has higher chance of approval? Thank you, and I look forward for your guidance. Let's talk about with education, and then let's proceed with migration. Carla, how do you feel?
I think Grant can give a much more info
In
if
depth,
he
okay.
wants to maybe apply for the skilled nominated one. But if you're planning to study, a master's program is good for you. That's 2 years. Don't know your age though, so we are not sure if you are eligible for the 485. But if you are, then that's another 2 years for the 485.
Yeah.
But do a master's since you have experience. Grant.
Yeah, look, Carlo, thank you. Look, this is a scenario that does come up quite a bit, and unfortunately, I've got to come back to what I say earlier. Everyone's got their own set of circumstances. I mean, Carlos just mentioned it then. We don't know age of the inquirer, and therefore what sort of pathways might come out post-study. If you were talking about purely applying directly for general skilled migration, it becomes a question of which one are you actually eligible for, because early childhood and primary school teaching are two different occupations. And so we would really need to assess exactly what your qualification is in terms of getting into the nitty-gritty of the transcript and seeing which subjects have been studied, and comparing that to what the actual occupation experience is, to be able to advise this is the best occupation to look at. It then gets into the process of applying for skills assessment, moving on then into, state nomination, expression of interest, etc. So yeah, it is one of those things we'd really need to consult and get all of the information that's relevant to the situation, so that we can give full advice on how to move forward.
All right, thank you guys for that advice. Okay, so now we proceed with another question. So for hope Harleen, you have some ideas with your answer. So feel free to book a consult. So yeah, okay. So now we are moving to the next question from Jeannie. For master student, how many hours am I allowed to work?
There's 48 hours fortnightly. So if you have a dependent, your dependent can work full time. Only for the masters and up.
Okay, thank you so much. Hope we answer your question, Chini. Now let's proceed to the second one. Hold on for a minute, guys. Oh, so this one. I think so from Miguel. Hello to all of you. I hope you are well. Last year, me and my wife who want to come to Australia with the children, we had a refusal on the visa because we came as a family. I think that's the only Miguel. An example we have about. Sorry, guys. His comment is okay. I think we need to pass this one. Hi, Miguel. Feel free to comment your whole question, not in cut one, so that our team can answer it in in a better way. Okay, so let's proceed to the second one. Okay, from Lester. For a 40 years old who owns and manages an early intervention center for kids with autism, ADHD, and other developmental needs, can he enroll a master's in special education in Australian university? Is there a pathway to PR on this? 40 years old.
Yeah, you can apply for a master program at 40 years old, but that's for roughly 2 years. Doesn't give you enough time to do your work experience and all that stuff to get you qualified. Remember, the age limit for the 485 is only 35, so you are not eligible for that. So we'll have to look into the other visas to extend your stay that Grant might have some info on. The age limit for the PR though is, I believe it's 45. So time is of the essence right now. I think Grant for the other visa.
Yeah.
Look, Karlo, you have explained the situation perfectly there. Unfortunately, you would not be eligible for a graduate visa after you'd completed the master's program. There is a firm age limit of 35 on the graduate visa. In terms of pathway to permanent residency afterwards, what the challenge is going to be is, without the graduate visa, you then do not get the opportunity to move into flexible arrangement to accrue your year of work experience. So you've got to look at how that can be achieved in most circumstances to look at a 482 visa or similar. Now, it can be based on your previous experience. So again, we need to look at the full set of circumstances here. It is possible that you'd be able to move on after your master's into an employer-sponsored pathway. But again, we would really need to look at the full set of circumstances here. I would suggest, based on what we know thus far, general skilled migration would not be a transition. There would be time for employer-sponsored. However, as Karlo has rightly said, time is very much of the essence here, given that you're currently 40 years of age.
All right. Thank you so much, guys, for answering that question. Okay, so I have another question here. She said, from Naivatato. I don't know how to pronounce it, but yeah. I'm 26 years old now. Is it possible for me to study there? So, Carlo, with age, like concern.
Yeah, it's possible for you to study. Just need to see your background and what kind of program we can align you in, and if you have, relevant work experience. But yeah, you can. 26 is a good age for you to study, and then eventually move to your next visas for your 485, your PR eventually. Send us your CV, so we'll start from there.
True, true. Book a consult, Naivatato. So book a consult with our education agent so that you'll know what will be your course and she can check your background. Because as he said a while ago, that alignment is one of the most important factor of applying a student visa. Okay, so I have another question here. Hold on for a minute, guys. Okay, so this one from Eliza. How many months should I wait before applying for my visa if my husband already has a student visa? They're unsure. Carlo?
I think Eliza is applying for a dependent, and her husband already has a student visa. So, if you're applying for the subsequent dependent one, there will definitely be a delay for you, and we usually do the application around a month after your husband has arrived to Australia. Why is that so? There you will also have a GTE if you do a subsequent dependent visa, not as extensive as your husband's was, but you will also have that, and you will mention there your what do you call this, your Australian living arrangement. So we need to show that your husband's already stable, he has a place to stay, he is currently working. Then that's the time that we can provide, or we can lodge your subsequent dependent visa application. You might also want to prepare for the fees because you're doing a couples insurance, so that's going to be an expensive jump from a single insurance, along with the other ones like your medical, biometrics, and your visa fees. So yeah,
Yes.
delay for a month, a few more months.
As per I remember, yeah. How much is it again, Carla? I think as per I remember, it's around $8,000 now, right, for a couple? 8,000 to 7, if I'm not mistaken.
For a single insurance, that's around 1,516 for a 2 year
Yeah.
program. For a couple, yeah, you're looking at around 8,000,
Yes. A big jump.
Yeah, it's really a
Big
big
jump.
jump.
Yeah. Okay. So we have another question here from Kevin. With the new point test system being implemented, people with over higher qualification will be prioritized. Does this mean that trade occupations won't be highly invited as it's been happening? Any insight, Grant, about this case scenario?
Yeah, no, look, it's an interesting question, and I assume that that the inquirer, Kevin, is relating to what was announced in the federal budget papers last night. So there has been discussion within government that there will be some amendments made to the points test. Now, unfortunately, we do not know the specifics of that. And at this point in time, we cannot advise the specifics of that. Once we do have full information from the Department of Home Affairs of any changes to the points test system, we'll certainly make that available so that everyone can know about that. So yeah, I can't answer the question specifically because there is just no official information at this point in time, other than to say, as was announced in the budget, that they're looking at higher qualifications as taking a more significant role in points tested migration. But we do not have anything specific beyond that, unfortunately.
Nice. Thank you so much for sharing that insight, Grant. Kevin, by the way, we always have blogs, vlogs, TikTok contents, Facebook content. So please follow us here in TikTok, YouTube. So what every time there is some announcements and things like that changes, we here with Pathway to Us, we always make sure to make a content about it so that you'll have an idea as well, just a sneak peek or something. True.
Juvaina,
Okay.
sorry, can I just add one last thing?
Yeah.
Because the tail end of Kevin's question was, will it mean that fewer trade occupations will be invited? The answer, quite simply, in our opinion, would be no. Trade occupations will still be the major component of invitation rounds because there is such a need for construction trade in Australia. So we do not foresee any change in that. It's just going to be a minor tweaking in professional spaces.
I see. Thank you so much for adding that one, Grant. Now we proceed with the second question. Hi, is it possible to sponsor a student visa by first cousin in Melbourne for show money purposes, but the application expenses will all be shouldered by the applicant and will plan staying in Brisbane with my aunt? So, yeah, Carlo?
Sorry, had to unmute. It is possible. I just need to reread the question because it's tricky. So, first cousin will, yeah, it's possible, but kind of dangerous, kind of risky. Might be good for you to do a sponsorship with a first cousin and maybe parents or your first level relatives. Just so, because we are seeing some refusals where they are targeting the relationship of the sponsor and with the student. So I had one quite a while back that they were not convinced that the student will have access to the sponsor's account. And the sponsor, I think, is a cousin of his parents. I'm not so sure anymore, but it's very far in the family tree. So if you want to do that, yeah, you can do your first cousin. You add in your parents, a first level relative or a brother or a sister. That would be good. In terms of expenses, it's all about, yeah, the immigration will not be able to see who is paying for what, so it doesn't really matter. And we'll plan on staying in Brisbane with your aunt. Yeah, it's fine. We are going to mention that though in the genuine temporary entrance statement that the student is going to stay in your aunt's place in Brisbane. But in terms of sponsorship, you can add in your cousin. Better to include some much closer relatives. You can have 2 to 3 sponsors. Oh, good.
Nice. Thank you so much for answering that question, Carla. Okay, so I have another question here. Um, it says that from are online HVAC courses useful for outside of Australia? I'm a HVAC technician from Papua New Guinea. How you pronounce it? PNG. Let's say PNG. With 10 years experience, and I'm trying to apply for an online course. What is that? Is it tricky, guys? I mean, we managed to have the question in a Like,
Yeah, I'll just jump in with where I believe the inquirer is going with this. So currently an HVAC technician, I get it, but when you're talking about applying for online courses, that's not a relevant consideration of what this forum is, because
Mhm.
student visas for Australia is for those people that are coming to actually do a
study.
physical course in Australia, be enrolled and attend a physical course, and anything related to visas that flows on from that. If you're talking about being in PNG and trying to access an online course, well, that's not got anything to do with a student visa or a subsequent visa for Australia. So, yeah, I might be wrong, but that's how I'm interpreting what the inquirer is asking here about if he can access an online course from an Australian course provider. But yeah, that's got nothing to do with the student visa process.
All right, thank you so much, Gran. There's a question here. It's quite tricky, but I don't know if it would be like connected to. But from Chini again, I think we answered some question about her a while ago. So she said, I chose a student visa over a work visa due to competitive sponsorship. Can find affordable schools for a for a MA in urban and regional planning or any environmental related course. Masters that accept transfer credits, only need thesis units to finish my degree from UP Biliman. I think Carlo, it's
Yeah.
like,
So yeah, there are a lot of master programs for planning, urban planning. I'm not so sure what your super background now is, because you were asking about environmental related courses previously. But again, the master's courses for this specific um, what do you call it, for this specific programs are quite expensive, definitely. So they are also offered by, usually by a university. That's why they are expensive. So in your second question, if they accept transfer credits, not really. They would want to um, to provide you with Australian qualification, Australian credits. But what usually schools do is try and see if you are accepted into the master program that you are applying for based on the units that you already have. Because sometimes there are students who completed maybe a bachelor's degree, has done quite a few number of units for the masters, and apparently they are not eligible to enter into the master's course. So they do a pre-qualification program first. So that's where your transcripts, everything else will come in for the school to assess you. But yeah, there. If you want to be flexible, as Grant has mentioned earlier, you might want to explore other courses that are much more cost effective for you. There are other courses which cost around 40 to 50K for 2 years, but these are mostly delivered by colleges, not the big universities.
I see, I see. All right, thank you so much for answering that one, Carlo. And we have another question here. So she said that I am 35 years old. I have 15 years experience as a cabin crew. This cabin crew falls under skills migration occupation, right?
Look, the simple answer is no. Unfortunately, you're not talking about an occupation that has demand. I mean, every single occupation, let's be clear here, does have an ANSCO definition, but it becomes a question of what sort of demand exists for it. There might be options in a customer service sort of sense. Again, we'd have to sit down and talk and look at the full breadth of qualifications and experience that the inquirer has to see if we can maybe move it towards maybe move it towards another occupation in a client service sort of realm. But yeah, at the moment, yeah, no demand in the occupation specifically mentioned.
All right, thank you so much. We're trying to answer all the question, guys, but we are nearly finishing the 1 hour live today. So I'm trying to finish all the questions that you got there. So I have more questions from here, but don't worry, guys, because we are always having another multi-streaming event every week. So please make sure to follow our page because with the page we always make sure that we post something like prior to the event we post something that so that you will be aware of the upcoming event with Pathway to Us. So with this multi-streaming event live, guys, we usually answer questions after the explanation of the education and migration agent, and then we are trying our best to answer all the questions after the few minutes. So now I'm gonna choose more questions. We will try our best, guys, to answer all the questions here because we have a lot in the list. Okay, I'm trying to have here. Okay, I'm 37 years old. All right, so I have here from Ma Ray. I'm 37 years old and I obtained my degree in early childhood education from the Philippines 13 years ago. However, I've been working in the retail industry in Singapore for the past 10 years, which means I don't have any teaching experience. My sister is a permanent resident in Australia and I'm considering moving there. Could you please advise me on which visa I should apply for? I think this is quite tricky one, but anything that you might suggest or guys, like from migration and education as well. She's
Well, look,
37.
I'll jump in first. Realistically, if you have a qualification but no relevant work experience to support it, you're not going to get through the skills assessment requirement. So unfortunately, your qualification in early childhood education is not something that's going to lead to a positive skills assessment, in my opinion. You've been working in retail, you say, in the last 10 years. Again, you're therefore working, you've got relevant work experience, but not an underpinning qualification in that space. So sorry to be very direct and straightforward, but I don't see, based on the information provided, I don't see a pathway to skilled migration based on your history. I'd put it over to Karlo to discuss what he sees as a possible student pathway, and then we could build on that moving forward. But at the moment, I'd say student study is your only option.
Thanks, Grant. So if you are going to do a student visa pathway now, you are going to really look into the higher education programs because number one, you're 37. Again, post-grad visa is only for 35. So you will have to look into other visa options just to extend your stay, maybe to do an employer-sponsored visa and other visas. Also, you are doing retail now for 10 years. So when we do a student visa in general, we look into two things: your academics and your employment. So at this point, your academic is kind of irrelevant now for if you want to do a master course. So we are going to look into your retail experience. So maybe just from the top of my head, you want to do an MBA or Master of Management. So there is a sales component there. There are also master courses with quite a number of specializations that you can look into. Again, it's still under MBA. And we can also apply for those ones. So the master programs are for 2 years. And then after 2 years, that's the time that we are going to look for other visas that you can apply for.
Nice. Thank you so much, guys, for answering this question from Maria Ray. Now we are having the last question, guys. So thank you so much for 34 viewers out there watching us here with Pathway to Us multi-streaming event. Guys, by the way, Pathway to Us is having another event like webinar. So with the webinar, guys, we usually talk about or tackle about student visa there. So if you want to have a further discussions regarding student visa, feel free to visit our website, and on the right top corner, you will see the upcoming events link, and then check our events, guys. Okay, so it's a free consult. I mean, it's a free webinar, guys. So there's no fee, because here with Pathway to Us, we offer free consult and processing when it comes to student visa. But of course, for migration consult, you need to pay. Okay, because you will be having a professional advice with a migration lawyer here with Pathway to Us. Okay, we will be having another question, guys. This is the last one. And yeah, let's go to the last question. From Maria John, I am a disability and social inclusion specialist. I have master's in disability policy and practice in Australia and currently living in PNG. I am looking for sponsorship visa for subclass 491. Are you able to link me to any employer demanding my skill? Okay, Maria. So by the way, Pathway to Us is not a recruitment agency, so we don't offer sponsorship. Just telling you about this. With here in Pathway to Us, we assist in processing visas. So if you have further questions with regards to skilled and things like that, you need to book a consult with us. But we are gonna tackle about the course and the job that you have there. So if there's any chance you can talk about this, Carlo, and also connected to the migration agent grant. Thank you so much.
I think this is more of grants.
Yeah,
for
I think so too. Yeah.
It is a 401
Yeah.
visa, yeah.
Yeah, no problems, Karlo. I'll jump in here. Maria, look, thanks for the question. And as Juvaina has said, we're not a recruitment agency, okay? And so as a result, no, we don't have a list of employers that are looking for specific skill sets or anything like that. You might be able to reach out to a recruiter who might have that information specifically for you. Based on the information that you have shared, it would certainly appear that you are an excellent candidate, and there would definitely be states that would be interested in sponsoring you under the 491 for the skill set that you have. Obviously, I'm going off purely what's written here about your qualifications experience. I don't have any information about age or any of those other qualifying factors under the points test. But yeah, certainly you're in a space where there is demand and need. And yes, I think you'd be a very good candidate for state nomination. But specific to your question, we don't provide a recruitment service, but you can certainly reach out to one and find out what employment opportunities might be there for you.
All right, thank you so much, guys. As much as possible, we wanted to answer all the questions here in our comment section. But guys, don't worry, Pathway to Us are having another multi-streaming event, guys. So please follow us here in YouTube, Facebook page, and also we also have our private page if you want to join. It's about the student visa group. So if you're a Filipino out there, we have our private group as well. And also feel free to follow us in our TikTok, because in our TikTok, we share a lot of information that it might be helpful so that you will know what your next plan is. And also don't forget to book a consult with us. With student visa, it's free consult. So don't worry, guys. You feel free to have questions and such. And with the migration agent, feel free to check our website, because with the website you can see the fees, how much it is, and how long is the consultation. So congratulations, by the way, to the winner of our mini game a while ago. I will be sending you an email. So thank you so much. Even though it's like, some questions are quite tricky. Some questions are so tricky, but you still tried your best to answer them. Thank you so much. See you again. Anything you want to tell them, guys?
So just one thing for student visas, always make sure to align your background to your course just
Yes.
to get us moving and get us a good visa approval rate. So looking forward to doing your applications in the future.
Yes.
And if I can just end with one thing, I say this to everybody: if you're eligible, apply. The amount of people that delay moving ahead with something and then by virtue of a change to occupations in demand or changes to laws suddenly become no longer eligible when they want to apply. So if you are eligible, move ahead. That's my advice to everyone.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for our viewers. And yeah, hope we shared a lot to you guys. And see you on our next multi streaming event.
Yeah. Thank you
Bye.
guys. Bye bye.
Goodbye, everyone.